Strap on the boots and scrape up the knuckles.
Oh, what a hit!
He got jacked.
This is the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan, Ford & Gilbert.
Murray's gonna score! Touchdown! Slammed to the ground by Buda Baker. Like a torpedo, he came flying into the backfield.
The Rage is brought to you by Santan, Ford & Gilbert. Right on the price. Right on the corner of the Santan 202 freeway in Val Vista.
What a grab by Trey McBride. That was spectacular.
And by Arizona Cardinals Podcasts. Visit azcardinals.com/podcast.
The Red Sea is rising up.
Temperature rising, vision blurring, rage taking over.
Here's Paul Calvisi.
I'm ready. I'm 100% ready. I'm telling you I'm ready.
And Ron Wolfley.
It doesn't get any better than that.
Unleash the fury!
All right, here we go, Red Sea. I mean, Silicon Valley, are you listening out there? You kidding me? It's an NFC West game we got going here. Cardinals already beat the Rams and beat the silicone and the Botox out of L.A. Now it's NorCal, Wolf, and it's time to pound the Chardonnay and the semiconductors, right, out of the San Francisco 49ers. Who's all about it? Come on now.
I got no problem with that, Paulie, if that's what you'd like to do.
By the way, did you hear the weather forecast? It's supposed to be the all-time hottest game in the history of Levi's Stadium on Sunday.
I saw that, Paul. I heard that, and I know what your response to that is.
Well, it's supposed to be like mid to high 90s, okay? Today's record, because the Cardinals practiced in it, was a record 109. So I know the schedule says home game for the 49ers, but are we sure about that? Are you sure it's not a home game for the Arizona Cardinals? That is a great question to start with. The tight end, Elijah Higgins, everyone. How about it? I mean, Elijah, come on now. Mid to high 90s? You guys don't sweat that. Literally. When you've been practicing in 110 plus for like weeks now, correct?
Yeah, we're not too worried about it. Quick question. This is pretty close to my mouth. I'm making sure this microphone is good.
Here's what you do. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to push this
awesome.
down. I'm going to kill that. That kills your mic. And you go like this. You can just sort of adjust it. You can sort of bend it out a little bit. Yeah, you know. That's good. There you go.
Sound
well
better?
done. Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
You know, we should have done that in rehearsal. Wolf, that's your fault. Come on now.
I was too busy eating, Paul. I had a nice big burger or something like that.
That's true.
Some fries. You know.
Yeah. Wolf puts the full in the fullback here in his post-playing
speaking of
days.
this,
Here we go.
Now, what is your weight at again, Elijah? I just want to ask this right now, right off the top, because you were a wide receiver at one point in time. What's your weight at right now?
So I weigh 250 right now.
250 pounds right now. What kind of difference is that from when you were a wide receiver?
It's about 15 pounds.
That was it. So you were a big wide receiver.
Yeah, I was a big receiver, but
you're a big
I never
receiver.
thought I was going to be 250.
Okay, so you're 250 pounds right now. A lot of weight room work, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, a lot of eating, a lot of weight room.
Okay.
I think a lot of it, too, is just how my body matured.
What's your favorite thing to do in the weight room? You don't like the weight room?
I love the weight room.
You
I
love
love
the
the weight
weight-
room.
oh, okay.
I would say upper body, just kind of pumping it
Okay,
up a
upper
little
body.
bit.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Doing some arms, curls for the girls.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Do you ever go over there and try and compete with Evan Brown and Paris and those guys, Yelda, because those guys are always like competing on the over there.
Yeah, my favorite guy to work out with in the weight room is actually James Conner. He's a dude that really pushes it, so it's cool to try to keep up with him.
That's not a surprise, is it?
Yeah.
James Conner's in there throwing it around.
We've had James on this show a couple of times, and he's talked about his off-season workouts with Aaron Donald. I'm guessing those are legit when you're working out with Aaron Donald in the off-season. So, yeah, I'm guessing he has some aptitude in the weight room. That'd be my guess on that one.
No doubt.
All right, so tell us about this week. Tell us about this week of practice. Tell us about how the team has rebounded so far, coming off the loss against Washington. And just how would you assess the mood and the vibe here the last few days?
We're excited. I think we're excited to play another game, obviously, another opportunity to get a W on the board for ourselves. But I think more excited just to get a bounce-back win more than anything. I think after, Sunday, Monday, you watch the film, correct things you need to correct, and then by the time you're practicing Wednesday, everything's behind us. So I think that's what we're most excited about is the opportunity that awaits us on Sunday.
Just being in the locker room when I was a young man, 10 years in the NFL, of course, and I suffered some really bad losses as well. I just want you to know that. I'll tell you in the break. We have no time to go over it right now. But just the way we used to process some of the losses that we had right there, it was about accountability for the most part, being able to look each other in the eye and be very accountable. Was that going on inside this locker room this week?
For sure. I mean, I think that's what all good teams do, and I think that's what we have in our locker room, is we have a good team, and that's what it takes, is for everybody to look themselves in the mirror and fix the things that they need to fix and move on to the next game.
You had a chance after the game to talk with Garrett Williams. He had the pick, obviously, big play, and a really excellent interview afterwards, just the way he summed things up. And here's what Garrett Williams, second-year player, had to say about how the Cardinals should go about correcting things.
Don't point fingers. Be honest with yourself about what you're doing well, and more importantly, when you're losing, you know what you're not doing well, and fix it. And I feel like if each individual on the team looks at themselves and be like, okay, I'm not doing this well, how am I going to take the steps to get better at that? I think if we all do that and then we come together collectively and be like, all right, what are we lacking as a team? I think that's where change starts to happen. And then, you know, I think that's where we just show the type of team that we are.
You know, I've heard JG use the word details repeatedly. When you guys watch that film, how correctable were things that he identified?
Very correctable. I think we have the guys in the room that can get the job done. And obviously that starts from an execution standpoint, being able to make plays and whatnot. But starts at the details. Like I said, we have the guys that can make the plays. It's just about being in the correct alignments at the right time, snap counts and all that sort of stuff. So I think we got the guys that can do it for sure. It's just about fixing those small details and moving forward.
You know, the Niners just snapped a 2-game skid. They lost at Minnesota, lost at the Rams, and Fred Warner talked about practice last week going into a New England game, just saying, you know, guys had a little extra edge, you know, a little chippier. You know, we had lost a couple in a row.
Yeah.
I mean, did you sense that at all this week?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel it. I feel it in everybody. I definitely feel it myself for sure. Just taking accountability for the small things that you know mess up in the game, and making the distinctions between doing the right thing and doing the wrong thing, and just putting your best foot forward and earning that confidence back in practice and just working hard. So,
you know, for me, Paulie, too, it's just a situation where every player's got to go in there and watch the tape, as Elijah is saying right now. You got to be truthful in what it is that you're seeing. You got to be 100% honest. If you truly want to get better, you have to take critique. There is the opportunity in a loss to get better, much better, by watching the tape than there is when you win, in my opinion.
100%.
When you lose, you feel the same
100%.
way. Okay, for me, it just was a situation when you lose, man, everyone is on edge to begin with. They're going to be a lot more critical. If you actually absorb it and take it to heart, you can actually get better by watching it and telling the truth about yourself. Always be honest, 100% of the time. And there are some guys, boy, and you know this, Elijah, there's some guys out on the field, they'll recount something that happened on the field that did not happen on the field. But the tape doesn't lie, ever.
How about the opening drive in these games? What is clicking? What is going well? 4 straight games, 4 straight opening drive touchdowns. Is there anything you can take from the beginning of those games and try and extrapolate going forward?
I think obviously just the execution of what we're calling. Alignment, assignment, key technique is what JG preaches, and when you're able to, you know, start a drive like that early in the game, that's what it's about. It's about doing the right thing, obviously over and over, because you have a numerous amount of plays in that drive, but doing the right thing in and out, and that's what happens when you put a good drive together.
You had a couple of catches against Washington. I saw we have an 11-game catch streak now. Just tell us how you think your own game has come along, especially in the last maybe like full season. You started playing midway through last year. Where do you think maybe you've grown the most?
I think it's just embracing my role, to be honest, understanding ins and outs of the tight end game and what it means to be a tight end, and just kind of sticking my nose in there and just being a physical guy and just doing what the team needs from me. I think has been the biggest part for me in understanding that. Obviously playing receiver in college, making that transition, it wasn't easy. I remember about a year ago, I didn't know how to get in a three-point stance for the longest time.
Wow.
And now to see a year later the position I'm in now, the role I have on this team, it's been cool. It's been special. And I think it's a kudos to the guys that we have in the locker room, being a teacher or helping me learn and being teachers and whatnot. And then obviously the coaches and all that stuff and the opportunity that they've provided for me. So it's been a cool deal.
Elijah, I want to tell you this. Just watching you play, watching you on tape, I never knew you had the ability to be as physical as you are. Mm-hmm. And that was something I did not know. Where does that come from for you personally?
Personally,
do you enjoy that part
yeah.
of being a tight end?
So personally, I think it's a God-given ability. And then on top of it, I think it's just understanding what's going on. I think we have good coaches, great coaches to really teach us what to know or what to know, and understanding what to do. And that's the biggest thing for me in terms of being physical is if you can understand what's going on, what your job is, you can play fast. And then when you're playing fast and hitting somebody, it's a lot of fun. So you just kind of continue to do that and you enjoy it.
So how cool has it been to have Trey McBride back in the practice field this week?
Oh, it's been great. It's been great. I'm excited for him to get back and rolling.
Is there any bigger kid than Trey McBride? Just the way he bounces around. I swear, he must have had the same personality when he was like 13 in Pop Warner.
Yeah, I would have loved to know him then. Yeah, he's a special dude.
His energy is just infectious.
He's a special dude.
And he was losing his mind in the Washington game. You could tell he was like, oh, man, I need to get out there.
Yeah.
So
he's ready to be back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. We'll get into a lot of that. We'll get into where you've grown the most. We'll get into your Texas football background. How many different guys in the locker room come from Texas and have made the NFL? We'll talk about Friday Night Lights. We'll talk about your siblings. Man, what a track record of athletes you got going. Elijah Higgins is our guest. We are live at Trophy in Chandler at the corner of Price Road and Queen Creek. It's the Big Red Rage presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert. We are Santan Ford.
Hurry to throw in 3rd and goal from the pocket. Backing up, lobbing it, left corner, Higgins got it. Touchdown. First career touchdown for Higgins, and what a great throw by Kyler Murray. Pass across the middle, caught for a first down by Higgins. A gain of 20 yards. Pass over the middle behind Higgins, but he makes a great catch to the 25. What a catch by Higgins. Throws quickly, and it's caught for a first down by Higgins. Powered his way through a tackle attempt to get the first down.
Kyler Murray, that is right on the Nats behind.
Snap to Murray, 3-step drop, looking left, now in trouble, spins left, now steps up, running left, Murray breaks a tackle, looking end zone, firing left side, a sliding catch for a touchdown. And it's Higgins making the grab. Kyler Murray does it again. More Murray magic, 20-0 Cardinals.
Murray throws another dime.
All right, Passion Wolf on the call. We the guy who's on the business end, the receiving end, Elijah Higgins is our guest here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan Ford in Gilbert. Well, that last touchdown catch is going to live forever because that was known as the Steph Curry. Kyler Murray, the look away at the very end. Has he ever done that in practice before?
Not sure. Maybe. I didn't realize he did in the game until I saw it on ESPN or whatever.
So it was after the game when you realized it.
Yeah.
It's interesting. All right. So, because that is epic, right? Come on now. The way to flex that, right? He knew it. And at that point, how certain were you were going to catch that? Because that's a sliding grab. What was the degree of difficulty on your end?
Honestly, I have no idea. When you're in the game like that, you're not thinking much, and it just kind of happens, and you celebrate with the guys, and you go back on the film and watch what happened. You're like, oh, I did that. So it was cool. Obviously, I didn't get to see what Kyler was doing back there when you're running the route. So when I got to see the review on that, it was pretty special.
So Higgy, can I call you Higgy? Is that okay?
That's perfect.
You're fine with
That's
that
perfect.
right there. I know the Higgy Bear, and we're going to get into that momentarily here, but it's okay if I call you Higgy,
That's
right?
fine.
That's fine right there. I would imagine your hands have always been good, correct?
Yeah, 100%.
That's the strength of your game right now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like playing wide receiver better than you like playing tight end?
No. I thought I was going to.
Okay, so
before
why?
the transition.
Tell us why.
I just think you're way more involved in the game as a tight end. As a receiver, you're not as involved. You don't really have as much responsibility in the blocking game as playing a tight end.
You like being in the box where the fur flies.
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's fun.
Look at you. I can see the look on your face right now, man.
Especially when you get it figured out. When you don't know what's going on, it's not fun.
That's right.
Once you get it figured out a little bit, it's a lot of fun.
Oh, I like that. I can see it on your face, man. And you know what? I can see it in the way that you play as well, in between the white lines. The physicality we were talking about. Once again, it's growing, Higgy.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Look, I'm actually half amazed. I really am. Because, how many receivers, let's just say, end up in the coach's doghouse because they're not blocking, right? The old adage, no block, no rock. And usually if you're a receiver, past or present, it's not necessarily something you want to do by choice. So you're telling me that you're standing there and you're in the three-point and you're up against 6'7" Aiden Hutchinson, and you're enjoying that at that moment, because a lot of former receivers would dread that.
Yeah, I mean it's a good time. I enjoy just the physicality. It's you get to compete every play. I feel like you don't really get that at receiver. You're not always running routes versus another man in coverage. You're not always blocking somebody. Obviously in the league it's a little bit different. Receivers are a lot more involved in the run game. But at the college level you're not competing as much every play in and play out.
So, Higgy, tell me where you're from. Where do you say that you are from? And I say that because a lot of guys differently, they might move all over the country, and actually have a lot of different homes. Where do you identify with? Where were you born and raised?
I was born in Florida. My dad's in the military, so we moved to Texas.
Oh, boy.
Going into middle school. So I like to say I'm from Florida and Texas because it was kind of split in half my childhood. Yeah.
Okay, so that's all. You're Florida, and did you
Florida
go to
Texas.
A small town? Did you grow up in Texas? Or
I grew up in Austin.
Okay.
Texas, yeah.
Oh, that was big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Bowie High School?
Yes, sir.
Were you guys any good?
We were pretty good.
Do you remember Kyler Murray?
I do remember Kyler
as a high
Murray,
school legend in Texas.
Yes, 100%.
Because every guy that's gone through Texas remembers Kyler. Did you used to watch his highlight reels?
I don't know if I did or not. I probably have seen him before, but I didn't really recognize that it was him or not when I was younger. But I'm sure I saw them at some point.
Okay, Friday Night Lights, I mean, in Texas, as big as everyone says it is.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It is a big deal. When you see other high school football teams in other places, it's not nowhere near
Did you
the same.
play any other sports in high school?
Track and basketball.
What'd you do? You ran track?
Ran track.
Okay.
Yeah. Ran,
no
jumped.
discus or?
I did shot put, triple jump, long
wow.
jump. Yeah.
Okay.
Did a lot of different stuff.
Here's the question. What was better, Friday Night Lights, the movie, or the TV series? Didn't see either? You lived it, though.
He lived it.
He lived it.
That's right, Paul.
Guys like me are watching it. You lived it. You know what?
I'm going to have to watch it now.
I'm going to save myself.
I'll add it to the list.
I'm going to bring in Drew Petzing and Jonathan Gannon talking about this is from late last year when you started to blossom, right, as a rookie. Here's what they had to say about Elijah Higgins.
I think he's done – it's a big transition. I think he's done a really nice job of leaning on the guys in that room. Ben Steele's done a great job of kind of preparing him and teaching him the technique and helping him make that transition. And I think he's done a really nice job.
Higgy Bear has done a great job with, that's what I call him. I don't know why. I think he's probably mad at me. But, we obviously, we have confidence in him, and he can play.
Okay, let's get into it. Wolf, you're going to ask the question. Am I going to ask the question? Higgy Bear, the nickname.
Yeah.
Presumably comes from the TV show from the 70s, Starsky and Hutch. Huggy Bear. Wolf, Wolf kind of looked like Huggy Bear when he went to his prom.
Will you knock it off,
Just Google
Paul?
that up later, Elijah, okay?
I've seen the picture, so I'm
Stop
familiar
it.
now.
Stop it.
He thought he was the man. So your reaction to the head coach nickname, was that his nickname, or did you come into the Cardinals with that nickname, Higgy Bear?
That was his nickname. At first, I didn't know where it was from, so I was a little bit confused. So yeah, it was he brought it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you're all about it. You're good.
I like it from him. At first, it was cool. As a rookie, it's cool, but I think going into my second year, I prefer other things. From JG, I love it from him, but I prefer other things from other people.
Okay, now listen, Paulie likes to sip soup and eat salad. Okay, that's what he likes to do for the most part right here. But being from Texas, at least half of the time in Texas, you must know Texas barbecue. You know barbecue,
Pretty
right?
familiar.
Do you like barbecue, first of all?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
yeah. What's your favorite?
Probably brisket.
Oh, yeah, see the brisket right there. What about sauce? What do you like for sauce?
I mean, I guess it's just barbecue sauce, right? Is that wrong?
Well, no. See, I mean, this is interesting because some, a little spicy barbecue. Like, I
Sweet and spicy.
Okay, sweet
I like
and
Sweet
spicy.
Baby Ray's. I don't know if that's necessarily Texas barbecue,
Okay,
but
I have no idea. Are they a sponsor on the show right now? No.
You never really get Wolf's full attention on the show until we start talking food. Now Wolf's completely in. That's how that works over there. Okay, so it's interesting. So how many different scholarship offers did you have coming out of high school? Too many to remember?
Anywhere around 40.
Oh,
40 or
no.
so. Yeah.
Are you serious?
So how did you decide on Stanford?
That's tough. I mean, obviously, the academic side of it was huge. That was a big part of it. Kind of made Stanford stand out. And then when I went to visit, the campus was beautiful. But I think the biggest reason I went there was actually to get away from football, get away from walking around the campus, people bugging you, people praising you as an athlete. I kind of wanted to be a regular student, be a regular person, and just kind of camouflage my way through college, be treated as a regular person, not really be put on a pedestal to any degree. So I really enjoyed Stanford for that reason. It was a cool place to go.
It's a great answer.
Boy, that is blowing my mind
It's a really
right now.
good answer.
Honestly.
It really is.
You know that's rare, right? You don't see a lot of guys walking around saying, I went there because I just wanted to go to school and be left alone. I didn't want people praising me. There's a lot of younger guys. I mean, we're talking about how old were you? 17, 18?
Yeah, probably about 17, 18.
About 17, 18 years old. Yeah, there's not a lot of 17 or 18-year-olds who would say that. Would you agree with that? Have you always been different? Have you always been like this?
I guess. I mean,
Yeah?
I don't know. I guess it's just pretty normal for me. I don't know how different it is.
When you were in high school, what was your favorite subject to study? What did you love?
I enjoyed math for the longest, and then once I got accepted into Stanford and finished my math, school was kind of done for me. I wanted to take a break for my senior year, so I started doing some easy stuff. But up until my junior year, it was math. Yeah.
Okay, what is easy stuff? What would you say is easy stuff?
I don't know. I mean, I just
go to Cal Berkeley like Paul did?
Wow. Okay. Wait a minute. Who has ESPN College Game Day coming to their campus this Saturday?
Oh,
yeah, this
all
guy.
right,
This
Paul.
guy. Here we go. Here we
Where am
go.
I playing?
Yeah, they're playing Miami. They're playing the
Oh,
U.
that's why they're going.
You're saying
that's-
we're
that's
riding
a shot over the ball.
Wow,
It's
we're
okay. We played Oregon number 3 and they came. So I figured that's the only reason they came to us. So it's all good.
Actually, as the story goes, they're coming for the Calgorithm, which is all the social
There
media
you go.
that has taken over. So, ESPN's trying to go ahead and, wet their beak on all the social media sensation that is Cal football. We should have blown the Pac-12 100-plus years ago, really, because we were stuck on the Pac-12 network. Now we're in prime time on ESPN.
it's
so
about time.
There you go. All right, so then you come into the NFL. So you got drafted by Miami. Okay. So, and then what was your month or that half a year like with the Dolphins? And because you have the Dolphins coming up here in a few weeks.
Yeah, on my birthday actually. I don't know. Being there was tough. Obviously, that was the first taste of playing tight end, and I had no idea what I was doing for the longest time. So it was tough. It was difficult. It was definitely a learning curve, challenge, uphill battle for me. And then once I got here, things sort of smoothed out a little bit. But yeah, it was challenging.
Elijah, when did they tell you that they were going to move you to tight end? Or was that where they did they draft
Senior
you?
Bowl, actually.
Okay.
At the Senior Bowl, and then at the Combine as well, the interviews and whatnot. Just kind of started to get a feeling that all the teams wanted me to make that transition.
Okay,
Yeah.
wanted you to make that transition, and you were okay with that.
Yeah, I was fine with it. I was excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Miami
Excited.
runs a very, very physical scheme as
They
well,
do.
do they not?
They do. Yeah,
Yes.
they do.
Well, speaking of, in the offseason, we talked to your position coach, Ben Steele, and he commented on you and your blocking and the evolution from the tight end position. Here's Ben Steele.
The best part about him as a former receiver, he doesn't have any bad habits as far as footwork and inline blocking as a tight end. And so he takes on the coaching and does exactly what I tell him to do. And it's awesome because he really works at it and he's willing and able to stick his nose in there.
True? I mean, you came in and you were like you just mold you like clay from the very beginning.
Yeah. I mean, I had no idea. You could tell me to do the complete wrong thing, and I'd probably do it because I had no idea at all. Like I said earlier, I didn't know how to get in a three-point stance for the longest time. I didn't know the difference between a 9 technique and a 6 technique, and I didn't know anything. So.
How about when you got to some of the blocking drills, one-on-one against outside linebackers? Were there some rough moments in the beginning?
Yeah, for sure. It was rough for a very long time. I think it was rough up until I figured out that it was all about technique and not about, just trying to hit them. Because usually that doesn't work. Oftentimes the guys are 20 pounds bigger than you. So that's when this offseason realized try to hone in on the technique of things and understand it a little bit better.
So where you are right now in your evolution, what do you think you need to do to get better?
Continue to be critical with myself, for one.
Great answer.
I think for 2 is just continue to learn the game, because I think there's a lot of things that technique can fix, but also understanding the game can fix as well. I don't know. I think I'm going in the right direction. I think it's just doing the things I continue to do, is being critical about myself and continue to learn and ask questions and just play fast. I think that's what it comes down to: know your job and just play fast. So just continue to do those things and develop a better understanding of the game and the position.
The fact you played multiple sports growing up, you know, the fact, I mean, you come from an athletic family, right? Your brother went to Cal's, now it's Sac State, right? Your sister is beach volleyball player at Florida State, if I'm seeing this correctly. Yep. Your mom played hoops.
Yep.
I mean, how much did that help you in your ability to transition to a new position?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps just having that background of doing a lot of different things. And then I think just always being involved in sports is obviously come to fruition now because that's all I do. But yeah, every week, every weekend was baseball or basketball or football. And if it wasn't my tournament, it was my brother's. Or if it wasn't my brother's, it was my sister's. So we always had sports going on, and I mean, we still do it now. They're all playing, and my parents are always traveling. So we're very grateful for that. But it's always been sports, and hopefully it's that for
At what age did you know
more.
that it was always going to be about sports in regard
Yeah.
to, you know, how much you loved playing?
Yeah, I mean, it's just once it's a thing of what you do and how you identify, it's hard to know anything else. So I don't know if I made that distinction at any age. It was just kind of normal. So that's just what we did and what we continue to do.
Did you ever meet any famous alums at Stanford when you were there, like, you know, Elon Musk or
Condoleezza Rice was there often. We saw her like at least once a week, to be honest, she would go lift at like 5 a.m. in our weight room.
Wow.
C-Mac would come by a few times. Andrew Luck actually took classes with my girlfriend. He's a really nice dude, down to earth. I think he's still going to school there.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes total sense.
Yeah. One of the things that's cool is I'm sure Andrew Luck could ride around with his helmet on and nobody would know who he is at the Stanford campus. So it's pretty special. I'm pretty sure he's another guy that enjoys that environment.
Very cool.
So it's cool.
I love the stories when Tiger Woods went there. He used to putt on the basketball court because it would replicate the fast greens at Augusta. That was always good stuff. Hey, we continue. Elijah Higgins here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan Ford and Gilbert at Trophy in Chandler.
Three wide receiver set on 4th down and 1 at the 2, and they're not going to put Murray under center. He's in shotgun here. Murray waiting. Now the shotgun snap. He's going to throw a fade left side of the end zone. Harrison pulls it in. Touchdown, Cardinals. There's the fade. It worked on 4th down, and it looked like they were stealing.
Oh, Kyler Murray just dropped a little spam in a can. Marvin Harrison Jr. ran the corner fade, and Kyler Murray put it out in front of him, and Marvin Harrison Jr. snagged it and stabbed it.
Kyler Murray with his 100th career touchdown pass. That ties him with Kurt Warner for 5th on the franchise list for career passing touchdowns. So congratulations to Kyler.
Yeah, that's outstanding. In fact, there's a century mark for Buda Baker we'll get to a little bit later. There was Marvin Harrison Jr. as we are visiting with Elijah Higgins, Cardinals tight end, here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan Ford in Gilbert at Trophy in Chandler, Price Road, and Queen Creek. So tell us about Marvin Harrison Jr. and what you've seen from day one to now. He actually is currently tied for the NFL lead in touchdown catches with 4. Forget rookies. He's tied with Justin Jefferson, 4 touchdown catches. And we know a lot of that has come in the first quarter, right? So, I mean, he's had for a rookie and out of the gates, he has definitely been productive. What have you seen from the 4th pick overall?
Yeah, he's a special talent. He's an even better person. I think he's extremely humble, maybe to a fault. I mean, the things that he can do on the football field are awesome to watch, and I think just the type of person he is off the field is even cooler. I think we've all seen him kind of come into himself. Obviously, as a rookie, it's always challenging those first few games, just, you know, finding your confidence and whatnot. But I think it's always been there, and it's going to continue to grow for him. And it's been cool to see him do his thing, and it's always cool to see him smile because he's a more quiet dude. I'm not in the receiver room, so we don't interact as much as I wish we did. But it's cool to, you know, see guys have success and be excited about it, especially when they're good dudes.
So, Higgy, when you watch the tape, is there a common denominator as to what teams are trying to do to Marvin Harrison Jr.?
Yeah, I mean, trying to double him more often than not. I mean, that's what happens when you have, you're a good talent. And, I mean, it's good for the rest of us, right? It opens up some opportunities and doors for the rest of the guys on the field. But obviously, if that's what happens, that's what happens. If not, then if he's single, then he'll do his thing. But, yeah.
Well, and that's part of the addition of wide receiver one, right? What it can do for your offense. Now, whether he's producing or he's get doubled and how it trickles down. And what if you would have given him some advice on the night he got drafted, since you had just gone through your rookie year, what would you have told him? What was key, making that transition to the league?
I would say just be patient with the process, be diligent, be patient, work hard, just all the basic cliche things that people usually all say to you, but those are usually the most true things, right? The cliche things. So.
And he's made a point, to your earlier point, that he came in, he realized a lot of fanfare. He's at the Heisman, ceremony, right, with Jaden Daniels, right? He's a household name the moment he gets drafted, and being number 4 overall, like he made a point to sort of, okay, I'm going to know my role, my place as a rookie, and. From what I can tell in that locker room, that's earned him some immediate respect. If he didn't have it already, he certainly did, just the way he carries himself. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, agreed completely. Like I said before, I mean, he's a great human being, very humble. And I think that's one of the things that are most respected, by athletes in general, is just being a humble guy and being down to earth and that sort of thing. So it's cool to see.
So when you think of the opponent this weekend, the San Francisco 49ers, what is the first thing that comes to mind for you personally?
Good weather, being in the Bay.
Good weather.
Excited for the nice weather, but it's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot. Yeah, right. I mean, you guys are going to be used to that.
Yeah.
Do you think that is going to be an advantage?
I think JG said it best. It's going to be an advantage to the team that uses it as an advantage. Who, whenever the weather's rough, whatever team, makes a point for it being rough is usually the team that doesn't do as well. So just embracing it, I think, is the biggest thing, and I think we're more than capable of doing that.
I mean, come on, it was 109 today. I drove over here with my windows down, okay? So, my goodness, 49ers, you better get mentally tough, okay? Here's Kyler Murray on facing that 49ers defense.
This is year 6 for me, and they've been great ever since I've been in the league. Got a lot of great players. Obviously, Fred and Nick, 2 of the guys that, make it go, but a lot of great players surrounding them for sure. I'm excited for the opportunity. It's always fun. We got to have a great week of practice to be ready for them.
All right, so 2 weeks ago, you got 97 Aiden Hutchinson. This week, you get 97 Nick Bosa. And we know that can be a team effort, right, trying to slow down one of the premier pass rushers in the league. So tell us about that challenge.
Yeah, we're excited. We're ready to embrace the challenge, and I think we got a really good plan for him. And then it just comes down to executing that plan.
So tell me what you're seeing from Fred Warner, though, on tape. He's one of my favorite guys to watch play.
He is awesome to watch. He flies around. He has a lot of fun playing the game, you can see, and that's something that, as a young player, I'm still a little bit envious of, because I feel like I'm still learning how to play at that speed and enjoy it that much. But it's cool to see a guy like him with experience and just out there having fun, making plays, flying around. I mean, he's a sight to see for sure.
When you play these division games, and I get it, you're 1 year in, but I mean, to what degree do you go in kind of knowing the challenge just because you played them twice last year? Is that familiarity, or do you expect them to change things up for the sake of change because you play them twice a year?
That's a tough question. I'm not sure, to be honest. I'm not sure.
That's a good
I'll take
answer.
it one game at a time, and
I'll say
I think
this.
that's the best answer.
I'll say this.
Answer.
It's probably easier on offense. Kyle Shanahan has a track record.
Yeah.
I've always thrown in a few wrinkles every year, a little something, especially early in the season that he innovated, right?
Yeah, he's got a very creative offense, and it's probably tougher on defense than it is offense, with those changes and whatnot.
It's so interesting when I look at the metrics of the 49ers defense right here. A lot of top 10 stuff in major metrics like yards per game allowed, of course. They have sacks per attempt at number 4. First downs, how many first downs they allow. They're number 4, of course. Number 10 in points. These are big metrics right here. All of a sudden, I get to third down defense, and they're number 26 in the National Football League. That doesn't seem to make sense to me because they've got such a good pass rush. What are you seeing on third down with the 49ers?
I mean, it's just taking advantage of opportunities, to be honest, and I'm not going to speak down to anybody or about anybody. But I think, like I said, it's just about those matchups, and usually it's man coverage and just winning those one-on-ones, and we got the guys to do that, and obviously they play teams that also have the guys to do that, or else it wouldn't have happened. So I'm excited for the opportunity for the guys to, make it happen.
I think third down is going to be a big area of concern for us offensively and defensively, right? Third down is going to be maybe a decider in this game.
Yeah, I mean, third down always is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, think about it. The Cardinals on offense led the NFL after 2 weeks in third down conversion rate. Then the last 2 weeks, not so much, right? And then the deep pass was there in 2 of the games, hasn't been there in 2 of the other games. So these are some of the things that these games always come down to, and whether the Cardinals can get it clicking and get it rolling. You've seen it in some games. You didn't see it last week. So we'll see what happens on Sunday. We'll talk more about the Niners when we come back. And how Ted Lasso figures in to the recent pass of Elijah Higgins. First, a reminder, you can learn more about Cardinals single game tickets, the premium seating, the all-new luxury field seating at azcardinals.com/tickets. We continue the Big Red Rage presented by Santan Ford in Gilbert.
Hi, I'm Christopher Fernandez.
And I'm Colo Bikini.
And we're from Ted Lasso. And we know a thing or two about football.
No, this is American football.
Right. So we have no idea what we're doing here, but we're having lots of fun.
I moved the 197th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft.
The Miami Dolphins select Elijah Higgins,
tight end, Stanford.
Football is life. He's here, he's there, he's every freaking where. Elijah Higgins, Elijah Higgins.
That is one of the most unique draft selections in the history of the NFL draft, and we have that guy alongside Elijah Higgins, Cardinals tight end, here on the Big Red Rage, presented by Santan Ford in Gilbert, live at Trophy and Chandler at Price Road in Queen Creek. We'll get to that location here in a moment, but first, let's talk about Ted Lasso. Elijah, did you ever think in a million years that somehow your draft pick would be tied into that TV show?
I had no idea what was going on when that happened, to be honest. They played it on the screen. The people were on the screen. They were in like a stadium, and they had said something about Ted Lasso, and I had no idea what was going on. I'm not gonna lie. I never heard of Ted Lasso. I didn't know what it was. I still don't know what it is.
Well, see, at Cal Berkeley, they love Ted Lasso. Okay, Stanford doesn't know anything about Ted Lasso.
By the way,
Cal Berkeley, they love Cal.
Love
Ted Lasso.
I just got a text from Lorenzo Alexander, Cal alum, telling me, "Hey, you're now rocking with Stanford cats. You're being way too nice," says Zoe, and so I got to avoid him in the near future. Note to self on that one. So, have you since watched Ted Lasso?
No. I don't know anything about the premise. I don't know the premise. I don't know anything. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
I haven't watched it either. Paul, of course, is all over it.
So I've struck out. I'm 0 for 3. Friday Night Lights, the movie, the TV show, now Ted Lasso. I'm 0 for 3. So let's talk about Budda Baker, okay? And here's what he had to say. Kyler threw his 100th career touchdown pass. Budda will make his 100th career start on Sunday against the 49ers. And here's what he had to say about that and the Niners quarterback.
It doesn't feel like it. Of course, you see 100-plus tackles a season. Some people might say it does feel like it, but, I'm blessed and I have the opportunity to, take care of my body and do all the appropriate things to make sure that I'm 100% each and every week. So, shout out Brock Purdy. Hope you throw it to me a couple times.
That's pretty good, Budda Baker there. And it's worth noting that Brock Purdy was the 2017 Arizona Cardinals High School Player of the Year when he starred at Gilbert Perry High School, which our Jim Almonro points out is exactly 8 miles east of here. It is exactly down Queen Creek Road, 8 miles east of Trophy here in Chandler. And how often do you ever watch the other team's offense? Do you ever, and what do you – because Brock Purdy – the final pick of the draft 3 years ago, and he was the Pro Bowl starter a year ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's remarkable what he's been able to do. From what you can glean so far, what makes a really good quarterback in the NFL? What are the 2 or 3 qualities you must have as a guy who catches passes from quarterbacks?
Decision-making, leadership, and then just the it factor of getting it done. Yeah.
You got to have the physical talent. You
Yeah.
got to have the
Just gotta
ability
have
to do it. Of
intangibles,
course,
yeah.
you have to do that. But man, the decision making.
Yep.
That's what I love. It's inside the gray matter. You look at something. What are your eyes telling you? Are your eyes lying to you,
You gotta do it
or
like-
are they
like
not?
that.
Right?
Yeah.
And you've got to make that decision like this. Whether it's pulling the ball down to run, or whether it's reading the coverage, whatever it may be, it is incredible decision making. When I think of Brock Purdy, and I think, Paulie, of his greatest attribute, that's what it is. He makes really, really good decisions. And I don't care what we're talking about. Everything he does is about making a good decision. He doesn't have the arm talent that a lot of quarterbacks have out there. Doesn't have the physical ability. What he does have is a great brain in terms of making decisions. And he makes the right one more times than not.
Last week, he averaged over 19 yards of completion. Think about that. They ran the ball and they threw deep shots, and that's how they beat New England.
Yeah, let me just ask Budda Baker. Okay, your thoughts on Budda Baker as a football player and what it is you see.
He loves the game. I think that's the biggest thing. He flies around. He loves the game. He takes care of himself off the field. But yeah, I just think he loves the game. I think that's the biggest quality that makes him the player that he is.
You know, I watch him as a former player, of course. I watch him play, and I immediately am challenged by Budda Baker. Here I am, Elijah. I'm 61 years old. Are you kidding me? I'm 61 years old, and yet I watch Budda Baker play the game, and I'm challenged because of how he plays the game.
Yep.
I'm talking about everything that he has,
Yep.
and he does it play after play after play. It's unbelievable to watch him on tape do it. Is it a challenge to some of the other guys inside that locker room? I know I've heard coaches, and Mike Tomlin is famous for doing this, but Mike Tomlin will yell out to his players, "Do you see that guy? Do you see the way this guy's playing?" He's done this before. They actually have a mic on him saying, that Budda Baker is a football player, man. He gets the attention of everybody on the field, whether it's your guys or whether it's their guys watching him. He challenges you as a man as to whether or not you're going to play the game the way that he's going to play the game. That's pretty incredible, if you ask me.
Yeah, there are a few guys who play with that zeal, right? I mean, we mentioned earlier Trey McBride like a big kid. Here's Kyler Murray this week just on having 85 back as a target against the Niners.
That's huge. I think, I don't say we missed him last week, but I think we missed him last week. Just having him out there, another playmaker, another guy that gets the job done no matter what. And, his confidence is going to continue to grow, so I'm definitely excited to have him back out there.
And had a really big game at the Niners last year, week 4. Michael Wilson, 2 touchdown catches, had a huge game. You know him better than anyone. Did all 4 years line up together, you and him at Stanford?
He was there a year before me, so he's a year older than me.
Okay. But you guys were in the same position room all those years,
Yep.
right? Okay. So how cool has that been, and how much did that help your assimilation to Arizona?
Yeah, it helped a lot. I mean, always, having something familiar with a new place is always helpful. Definitely miss seeing him as much as I used to in college. We're always in different rooms and whatnot, with him in the receiver room, me in the tight end room, but it definitely helped out a lot for sure.
So when you guys get together, I mean, at some point in time, you're not always in meeting rooms. You're in the locker room with the other guys. You and Michael flexing because of Stanford? Are you and Michael flexing on everyone else because maybe they went to Pitt?
We don't flex on anybody, but people often make fun of us for going to Stanford. I think it's an inferiority thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
so they
but
make fun of you for going to Stanford.
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't make sense, right?
See, the only downside of going to Stanford is if you ever make a mistake, then someone says, "You went to Stanford?"
I get that a lot from my sister, my younger sister.
That's funny. By the way, he got engaged in the off season, right? Sophia Smith.
Oh, I was like, no, I didn't.
No, Michael Wilson. Michael Wilson got engaged. And I'm
Mike
wondering,
did get engaged, yes.
Now, okay, so what's the deal? Have you shopped for a wedding gift yet? What do you get a guy like Michael Wilson? What are you going to do?
It's tough. I don't know. I haven't given that much thought, actually. That's something I need to think about because that is going to be a difficult decision.
Yes, it is.
So, Elijah, were you ever recruited by Pitt?
No,
by the way, you weren't.
No.
Yeah. Would you have gone to Pitt?
No, probably not.
See, if Larry Fitzgerald was here right now, he would take exception. Wolf and Larry Fitzgerald have a long-running feud because Wolf went to West Virginia, and so the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And don't say anything about West Virginia, okay? We're talking about Pitt right now. Pitt. And you heard about it. He would not have gone to Pitt, by the way. Just for the record, Paul.
Would you have gone to Stanford?
If I could afford it, I would have. I didn't get a scholarship like you did, Elijah. Okay.
That's great, Elijah.
So,
you got a future in this.
You
can
won.
do this.
You won in life. You got a scholarship to Stanford. You didn't have to pay a dime. Special thanks, Jim Omohundro, Cody Fincher, Walt Ellis, Lawrence Ellis, Alan Narini. For Elijah Higgins, this has been the Big Red Rage presented by Santan, Ford, and Gilbert at Trophy in Chandler.